What if AI could build your app? So this is the app we'll be creating. If you type in Washington, it will get the weather for Washington with a 5-day forecast for Washington, and also an AI summary with more information to do with the weather during that period. If I type in London, it will also get the weather, the temperature for London, as you can see, the 5-day forecast for this week. I type in a very hot country such as Africa, it shows a hot climate, hot temperatures for Africa with the description. If I type in a very cold country such as Russia, then you'll see it's in minus degrees, so it's freezing. So this is the application we'll be creating using Swift and SwiftUI. In this tutorial, we will continue from last week's lesson. So today we will implement the fallback summary. The purpose of that feature or function is to enable a fallback to happen. So if the AI is unable to provide a summary, then a default summary will be provided. So the first thing we need to do is anywhere after line 101 to create a new function which is called private func fallback summary, and that function will accept a JSON payload which is string data type, and it will return a string. Also create a struct called toolout decodable another struct for day decodable, and that includes the following: date, string, let min underscore c, which is double, let max underscore c, which is double, that should be double. So let weather code, which is int, what else do we need? We also need to create another variable, let location string current c double, let current weather code, which is int, get forecast, which is day. The next thing we need to do is to try to decode our JSON payload. which was generated by the weather service. Guard let data equals JSON data using .utf8 try JSON decoder decode. So we want to decode the JSON using our struct, which is called toolout, to get our object from the data. Else, if it cannot be encoded for some reason, we just return following message to the caller or to the receiver, which is weather summary unavailable. And the next thing we need to do, so if everything was successful, we will hit this line, let today equals out dot forecast dot first. So we get the first forecast for today. Let headline equals now in out dot current underscore C. So we display the actual temperature for now. In out dot location. That displays the temperature in Celsius. And then we next need to create another array, which is called bullets, that contains an array of string. So we create the new instance of the string array. If let today, so if there is a forecast for today, then we add or append the result to our array using today in today. Let's see. Int today dot minc. So what that will do, it will add today's temperature range. If out dot forecast dot count is more than 1, bullets.append next. So what we're doing here, we need to add the information about the upcoming weather for the other days, which will be for the next 5 days. So that's min out dot forecast count 5 days included below. So that will show the 5-day weather forecast. And then we just return the results to the caller. Headline plus bullets dot map I'll just paste that line here. Now I'll just compile it. The next file we need to create is the Open-Meteo weather service. And the purpose of that service is to enable the application to convert the user inputs into the coordinates, and also fetch weather data and JSON payloads for the AI. So let's create that new file now. So it's file, new file, and we just call the file the next thing we need to do is to import, that should be in there. The next thing we need to do is to import SwiftUI and also create our structs, which will implement our weather service. And then we have to implement the stubs as well that we created in the previous tutorial. I think that's incorrect. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, it's correct. Next thing we need to do is to type the following: let geo equals try await, geo code, and then we pass our prompt. place or prompt. So the geocode function doesn't exist at the moment. So I'll just copy and paste it from the clipboard. So now I will explain what the function does. So what it does now, we build the URL component for the geocoding API, which is on line 19. And then we define our query parameters that you use for search, such as for line 24, that could be for like the location, like London, and the next line is the count, which is the maximum results, which is assigned to 5, and the next line is the language, which is assigned to EN for English, and then the response will be in JSON format, as you can see on line 27. And then we have a finalized URL, which is on line 30, that just does some checking to make sure that the value isn't nil. And then we perform the GET request, which is done on line 33. And then we validate the HTTP status, which is done on line 35. So if it's 200, everything is okay. If it's anything but not 200, then we throw the error on line 36, the network error. And then we just decode the geocoding into a Swift struct, which is this one here, to obtain the response. And then we just forward any cancellations and then handle any JSON decoding errors. So now we will return back to lines 14, where we call the geocode function. Guard net first equals geo dot first. Dot result dot first. So what we're doing there, we ensure that at least one result was returned. That again, if it doesn't like it. Geo dot result dot first. Then it should be results. Question mark. Geocode response has no member results. Mm, results. But first, else. And let me see if I can fix that offline. The problem is that we missed out the S in the data models file, so there should be an S at the end of results. And you can see now that issue has been resolved. So now we just have to complete the guard statement. Throw simple error message. And the error we will throw is no locations found for the prompt. Place or prompt. Really, it's not a good variable name, but it was created by ChatGPT, so I haven't changed anything. Place or prompt. Place. So what's wrong with that one? Let's see. That looks right. Just so the message, simple error, message. Let me see. Let me do this and see what happens. Well, maybe it's because we don't have a return statement, but I tried to do it another way. Do it this way. Yeah, that seems much better. But we still need to implement our return statement, which we will do in the next tutorial.